So I'm draining the tank on this solvent solution here. I've cleaned quite a few parts from my Toro rollers and my cutting units, and I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of sludge at the bottom of this unit here. I think the pump is clogged because I was using it and didn't want to go. So here I've got the remnants of the tank, all the sludge and all the old grease and everything that is on the bottom of the tank. It kind of melted in that solution a little bit, but so let's see what this looks like if I just kind of scrape it. That is amazing how much that grease melts. I put a lot of grease down in this tank. So I'm just gonna clean this tank out, properly dispose of these paper towels. So I can see lots of dirt and old grease in there, lots of sand from wherever this mower came from. So this is what the plug looks like at the bottom of the tank. I need to get myself a ball valve and then put a PEX line on it so I could put a 1/2-inch gas hose on there so I could just drain the stuff right into the tank without any spills or leaks or anything. I've got a bunch of parts in here from my cutting units. I'm hoping to kind of cut a bunch of the grease off. These parts were previously soaked in my parts washer from Harbor Freight. So I'm using this paint mixture here with the drill that I use for my lawn cocktails. See why I need the sprayer? So now these parts should come out fairly grease-free. So you can see the difference of these rollers right here. This one's all rusty and this one's kind of not. So this roller, I used a wire wheel and kind of got all the rust off, and then look at this fresh new rust right here. It doesn't take long for these things to get rusty. So I'd say that worked pretty good to cut all that grease. Got bearings in here. What else we got in here? There's another bearing in there. All this stuff has to come out. So look at the difference between these here. You see how this is all reamed out and this is well on its way to becoming stripped out. And then this one right here is in good shape because it's got, you know, it still has a bunch of the hex still there. So it's pretty interesting to see how worn out that one is, and then that one's even worse. So this one's trash, that one's likely trash, and I could probably salvage that one just fine. You see this one, that one looks good. This needs to be cleaned up. So just wire brushed these rollers. These used to be red, and I'm gonna paint them red. I do realize that the paint will probably just come off pretty quickly, but I don't give a crap, I still wanna paint it. So I'm missing one of these pieces over here. Could be in the trash can here, I'm not exactly sure where it is. I may have thrown it away on accident, it may have fallen behind one of these cabinets or something, but so that's the primer coat, and I just need to put on the red color coat. Ooh, look at that, that looks awesome. So I'm putting the red paint on these rollers and these other parts for the cutting unit, and I realize that the paint may come off here as it rolls on the grass, but I don't care, I want it to look nice when I make my debut mow. So if you're sitting back in your chair going, what the heck is he doing that for? That's such a waste of time. I don't really care because I want to do this and I want it to look nice. So if it wears off, then so be it. I don't care. So the first round, do kind of light. Second round, a little bit lighter. Third round, a little bit more until about 4 sprays later, it's totally covered. So I bought the rebuild kits from R&R. Came with new bearing cups, new bearings, new seals, new everything for the rollers. So I'm gonna grease these bearings. I've never done this before, but it should be fairly easy to do. Manual says to use a general all-purpose number 2 grease. And so I'm pretty sure I can pull this off. I don't see this being really all that difficult to do. So from what I've been told, or for what I saw on the YouTubes, all you do is put some grease in here and then you just push it in like this. Grab the bearing and then you just push it in like this. And you push it like this until all the grease starts to come out the other side like that. So you can see the grease is starting to come out. You just push in the new grease and then you turn it. And you do that all the way around until the bearing is full of grease. You use this same process if you're trying to get old grease out and repack bearings with new grease. You do the same thing. You just do this and then you'll see the old grease just come out the other end. So now what I need to do is use this bearing cup and put it down in here and press it into place. So I've got this 30-ton press here. I'm using a 12-ton bottle jack. I'm going to press the bearing cups, which are right here, into place inside the cap or whatever on the end of the roller. So my friend who gave me the John Deere mower and he gave me that snow blower, I am borrowing this from him. He hardly ever uses it. He used to be a mechanic. So he said, yeah, I've got this you can use. So I've got this socket right here. It's just the perfect size for this. So I'm going to make sure I put this in here correctly. It needs to go with the tapered side down like that. So I'm going to try this out and see how it goes. So I'm going to put that in there like that. And then put my socket on there like that. And then I just start cranking on it like this. And she's going down. This is working. I put that in right. So let's see if it's seated in there properly. Should be able to tell. Oh, it's not quite tight right there. You can kind of see at the end. I've still got a little bit more to go to get it to seat in there just right. So I just didn't want to push it too hard. There we go. So that is in there good. So when you're putting these in there, you just want to make sure that this is super clean and that your bearing cup is super clean and that you're putting in the taper correctly. That is so critically important. What a fantastic machine. I thought I was just going to be able to push those in by hand or kind of finesse them in with a hammer, but man, this thing's sweet. I could not have asked for something easier. So there's another one seated in there just right. This is a sweet machine. I want to thank the guy who is letting me borrow it. His name is Ken. What an awesome guy. So now that I've got the bearing raceway in there, I need to put the seal on this side. That goes there. And so that needs to be pressed into place as well. And I've got this perfect little socket that is the right size. This doesn't have a lip right here for it to stop, so I'm not sure exactly where I should stop with that. So I'm not exactly sure where to stop. That's beyond flush. And it's not tight to the raceway. So I am not sure if that is where I need to stop or not, but I think that is where I'm going to stop. So that one's the same, just a little bit more than flush. So that one's good. I kind of really enjoy doing this kind of stuff, to kind of watch some stuff go from bad to good and restored and in a working order. So that's recessed just below this ring right here. So that's that one. So that worked out pretty good. I'm so glad I asked my friend if he had a press. This is working out just fantastic. I've got all 6 of these bearing cups in. I've got all 6 of these seals in. So the next thing I need to do is put the bearing in, and then there's one more seal that goes there. And then it's done, ready to put back together, which is so awesome. I'm super stoked about this. This has been a really fun project to work on. So I'm getting a lot closer to getting these things put back together. So I do not have the ability to grind the reels myself. So I take them to my guy, and he is a golf mechanic type guy forever, and he knows what he's doing, and he's got a Foley grinder. So he does a spin grind and a relief grind for me, and I just take them to him. So I've got to get these put back together so I can get them over to him so he can get them sharpened for me.